Alright, welcome back. It has been a while for me. I have been terrible with recording and such. It's just the nature of how I've been lately. But with that out of the way, I did take a moment to reassess where we were since we last left off, and I believe we just need to start talking to the ragged woman. In one corner, a ragged figure nursing a tankard of ale catches your eye. A few shady-looking ship officers share drinks, telling stories, and occasionally bursting out in laughter or argument. In other words, this one would be for one event related to, I believe, unknown, and while this one is Arma Armatura. So we will approach the woman. Dawn glances up as you approach, a lazy grin tugging at the corner of her mouth. Well now, look what the cat coughed up. You settle into the chair opposite, matching her easy posture. The two of you trade stories, some offered freely, others left to linger between the lines. Scars etched across her face say plenty, though she leaves the worst of it unsaid. Tales of contracts gone sideways, close calls, and a long grid of survival drift back and forth like old freight on a slow burn. You share a few of your own in kind. After a pause, she leans back, boots thunking softly against the table's edge. Sounds like you're in a real patch of trouble. She draws. Suppose if you're after advice or work, I might be inclined to lend a hand. For the right sword, anyhow. And so with that, we can make her into a contact. She studies you for a moment longer, her expression hard to read beneath the scars. For a breath, something like approval flickers in her eye. Well, you've got your road, I've got mine. Maybe one day we'll run alongside, eh? And if they do, let's hope we're on the same side of the shooting. She lifts her tankard in a quiet toast. May Lud keep you, traveler, till next time. With a low chuckle, she stands adjusting her jacket with a practiced tug. Got drinks need finishing and ghosts need drowning. Safe running out there, blessing upon ye. Alright, and we can't just for the sake of it go and also join the patrol office in the discussions. I don't know if we will do the actual main mission for this, but we will eventually get around to this. I want to kind of focus on one mod at a time. You slide in amongst ship captains who seem to have no problem with you joining the revelry and catch the tail end of an extended boastful story about that one time I phased through 2 Sundars just to nail a Colossus in the engines with a Reaper. You should have seen it. As he finishes another recount, narrowly outmaneuvering a Panther torpedo only for it to slam into the vessel of another crazed, sermon-spewing nutjob. Good thing Dawn isn't here to hear that. May Lud have mercy on their souls. She heard this and vaporized it then and there. One wearing a faded hegemony medal, a few cycles into retirement, and here to live through others, you reckon. Recalls fighting tooth and nail and keeping flankers off the tail of an onslaught as it tore through a horde of those damn blue things ComSec wouldn't tell me anything about. Alright, tell some of ours, and then ask the captain if they heard anything interesting rumors, and then we get a promise accepted. A young officer jumps at the opportunity, heard about some weird incident from a military while over at Equus Breast Bars, a great place to hear about that sort of thing. Says he saw a strange high-tech frigate while out in Samara by its lonesome transponder off. Interesting. And we return to the bar and leave. The charismatic man is not something we can approach just at the moment. Alright, now that we've stocked up on a few supplies, I actually wanted to check out the ships. We only have these 2 available. We have the Fenris Carrier, which is 2 D mods, which are increased maintenance and structural damage. The structural damage isn't too bad since it's a carrier and should technically stay back. Increased maintenance is a bit of a bummer, but I digress. But you're the one I actually am interested in. The AASV Iris Altagrave class custom mobile armor. What this design lacks in weapon slot quality is made up for via versatility. At its heart lies the Karma system, which processes a variety of applications on the battle space. Additional modular components grant grant impressive agility and speed, but are vulnerable to small strike craft and flanking attacks. So what does the Karma system do? Projectiles within 6 100 SU are absorbed on activation. Hostile tracking missiles that can be hacked will target enemies. On standard grave models, absorbed projectiles grant a scaling weapon return of fire flux reduction up to 30%. I kind of like the sound of all of this. I guess we're buying you. That's gonna take all of my credits. I kind of want you, so we're going to take you. Now we do technically have to fit it somewhat. There would not happen to be an auto fit there. There actually would be. Which it doesn't look like the proper guns are currently available. Interesting. All right, with this, I think it should be fine. Forgive me if it isn't. This might backfire on me greatly, but I think it should be all right for design for right now. And I don't think we have any real... Well, no, actually, a systems expert would probably be best for this, considering we want the karma system cooldown to keep firing off now, don't we? Unless it's a regeneration charges? No, it would have to be a cooldown. It sounds like, at least I think the system's cooldown. All I know is I should not be the one piloting this. I will get it destroyed instantly. And just for the sake of it, I'm gonna actually name it after one of my favorite space anime. There's actually very few space anime that I actually consider... Well, let me actually rephrase that. There are very few sci-fi animes that I consider proper sci-fi, if that makes sense. If you ignore most of Gundam, if you remove most of Gundam that takes place in space, there's essentially no real space adventure anime. Because you have Legend of Galactic Heroes, which does have space battles, but Star is kind of like the pinnacle of going from place to place, kind of adventuring. Granted, though, it is basically Treasure Planet, but that's not really the point. Yeah, no, I just feel like I wish there was more space adventure anime. I mean, there was like, what was it? It was the weird space colony where the guy became basically a vampire, technically, because some extra dimensional alien technically device thing on the mech. Just spouting nonsense, my apologies. Right, so we want to go to contacts. We want to go to potential contacts, develop contact. Now I did double the base number, so technically we could also develop one for Tritech as well. That will save us some hassle. So we can now work for both Arma as a faction and also Tritech as a faction. Go back here, and then Dawn, give it to Gon. The Arma Armatura crest lingers on the CommNet display before the channel stabilizes. A moment later, the feed resolves into the image of a young woman, plain clothes, windswept hair, bound back, a faded headband. She studies the screen with a guarded expression like she's weighing what sort of trouble might be coming knocking. Hey, got anything interesting going on? Yes, I would like a job. I mean, I'd also like to talk with Administrator Pa if that's possible. Look at you, shooting for the stars, huh? Gotta ask, how often does that kind of luck play out for you? She smirks, her tone half teasing, half wary. Not looking to rain on your parade, but I ain't some miracle worker that can pull some kind of magic out of thin air. Still, she splits open the datapad, thumbing in a few notes. I'll log your fancy request. She leans in a bit, lowering her voice with a familiar grin. Now, since you're already standing here gawing it with me, you might recall I handle a lot of the scraps and leftover gigs floating around these parts. Nothing glamorous, just a bit of pieces that need doing. She tilts her head, one brow raised. You let me clear some of the few of these and maybe I could twist a few arms to get something rolling for you. Fair is fair, yeah? Sounds good to me. What work do you have? I also could ask her multiple other questions, but I also kind of want us to get into some action as soon as possible. I especially want to see the Outlaw Star in action. Give me a moment, some new targets, rather unconventional extraction, and some nice new ships. Discuss ship of potential sale. offer a ship that meets the requirement. We could sell one of our frigates. You know what? Just for the sake of some easy cash to make up for the purchase of the other ship. Sure. Wow, only 1 and 2, huh? Understood. See what missions are available, and let us see something challenging. So something challenging is close. That, might be a bit much, but I think we could handle it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, after all. Now, part of the reason I'm actually going for contracts right away is primarily wanting to discover any systems around the cores for any good colonization spots. I highly doubt we'll find one that really screams to me, and I get the feeling that this seed is not going to be like the previous playthrough seed where I'm just finding Terran eccentrics everywhere. So, game, if you wish to prove me wrong, I'm not gonna stop you. Was that fleet following me? It's probably fine. Ooh, we actually do have... I speak of Terran eccentrics, and they come into existence. Cryovolcanic world? Gas? I do like how these three are just orbiting each other. That's great. I love that. That's actually, like, really good. Like, kind of terrifyingly good that I just willed that into existence. We even have stabilization points. I love this. This is beautiful. We do have the extra supply. What do we got? Rogue Hephaestus from Unren Worlds. Hostile pre-collapsed terraforming agents roam the planet, attacking humans that get too close. Still, the active Cauldron nanoforges can be repurposed for ship reconstruction. Okay, so this is the different version of the Cauldron one from the other one, where that one just gives the ship production quality. This one gives the hazard as well. That's neat. That's okay. that's okay, I guess. Class 3 world, you know, could be worse. And former little server here. Ooh, this one is holy. So crashed cryo sleeper, habitable, low gravity, which actually is really nice because of the access, and is immediately countered by the mild climate. Granted, there's poor lights, but we can get the reflectors, so that's immediately countered. It's 100% habitable. I gotta say, I think we have a solid contender for our capital world. Hey, you gotta be joking. Game. I mean, it's not better than what I have, but am I going to pass it up? No. So we're just going to take that and immediately mothball it. Are you the fleet? You are the fleet. Thank goodness, I was hoping. All right, move into engage. All right, that brand new ship and already totaled. Yeah, that's the definition of joining my fleets. That said, though, we did survive and win, so I'm gonna chalk that up as one in our books. So what do we got? A Guardian communication node. Haven't seen this one yet. For captain, reduce piloting ship's turret damage taken by 15%, but reduce the turret turn rate by 10%. For admin, increase market stability by 1, but reduce accessibility by 1. Oh, that can actually put into an administrator. That's actually really good. Well, I mean, the ability to put it in an administrator is really good. The thing itself, I could go with or without it. Increase shield raising rate, which I don't know if I like that. Alright, and since we are next door to a colonized system, we could just probably stop by. We're not hostile with the people, are we? You are the Combine, if I can remember my alphabets. We are neutral. Okay, that works. And Aurorian crates. The thing I went crazy for last playthrough, just magically appearing before me. And I'm not doing Aurora this time. I mean, I'm on their ship still, but that's not the point. Truly, we live in strange and interesting times. All right. Aurora is the crowning achievement of the Eridani Utopia Terraforming Corporation. Its almost perfect atmospheric weather cycle, habitat construction, and ecosystem formation are all made to match the old Earth that can only exist in hollow images. After the catastrophic fragmentation, Aurora suspiciously reformed its leadership and split from its parent corporation. It became the formal center of administration of Eridani Combine and the nexus of development of the Pantheon system. The atmosphere are lit up by trails of cargo drones and freighters, covering Aurora with silken threads, dense habitable defense, and defense command built into mountain ranges also serve as a symbol of Eridani claim on the system to all radicals and outside factions that would think otherwise. Neat! Oh hey, another free officer. Actually, 2 free officers. There might be a reason I added an entire portrait mod to this, so I could avoid things like this, but okay. An officer, huh? What can you do? He asked, knowing full well I'm just gonna sub a brain plant into you. I have credits. I can do it, it's fine. Now let's look at your ships. Okay, showing off a little bit, I see. You heard that I got a battle carrier and just had to show me what a real one looked like. One that isn't completely scrapped to pieces. Which, by the way, now that I think about it, I should probably strip, because I don't have any real intention of using this. We will just sell it. Alright. Is there any ships I would like to purchase? He said, scrolling down even further, knowing well what his budget is. We'll pause on that for now. We'll put a little note in it. I'm also going to assume that that is a problem with my installation somehow. Assume anything that looks like it's broken is somehow my doing by mistake. The odds are very likely it is. Now, funny thing, since we're back in the core, we could do a promise. We are next door to it. Before the Aurora Federation decides to go to war with the Hedge. I definitely need to leave the faction. Also, we should probably rename this, because you're far too south to be calling any faction you're in Eastern League, so you are never going to be able to guess what nationality I am. The influence will remain a mystery. On second thought, I think we'll leave that for possibly next episode. Let us head immediately back to Dawn and also get the Gremlin Gate, or Gamblin Gate rather, my bad. Because I should have grabbed that before I left. Who in tarnation? What do you want? One classified key card. Do you know how much money I get from the key cards? I'm not dealing with you though. I remember from last time, and we're just gonna go our separate ways. One often finds himself heading headfirst to destiny on his path to avoid it. Okay, fine. We will deal with you accordingly. If that wasn't the stupidest game of cat and mouse I've ever seen. Oh well, at least we got them. And we're gonna finish them. And holy, does that actual mech know how to do its job when it's being piloted by someone competent and actually just going in there. Yeah, I'm never assigning this to escort a ship again. It's just gonna go in and shoot things dead. Alright, back safe and sound. We're just gonna take a little trip to the black market. And that should be fine, because we're just gonna sell off a bunch of this stuff. Alright, that brought us to medium, which is not crazy, but it's fine. Assigning an officer to this vessel establishes a squadron that gains skills over time. Ooh, we definitely want that. I should have grabbed that before. That's on me. And then what? We have long-range strike unit built around a pair of energy-based cannons delivering focus high explosive payloads versus the M3s, which are primary armament in short range, scattered cannon, a crude but effective weapon designed to overwhelm shields. Supplementing this is a compact breach missile pod, granting a unit a limited capacity for armor-piercing strikes. I do like the sound of both of those. And I think I might just buy all of them. How much is 3? Okay, maybe not all of them, but I'm just gonna blow half of my money, aren't I? That's fine. Or science, is what I say. Now they still have the carrier, which I do want. That is really gonna put me on a tight budget, which is kind of unfortunate. But if I buy the carrier, I could get away with selling you guys, I feel like. I apologize, but you've been hit up just a few too many times. Well, actually, I'll keep you. Your getting destruction is my fault, and also I forgot to assign you. But actually, that might work. All right, I think we'll do impact mitigation. Congratulations, you're getting upgraded. You will take on this ship. My condolences. Now, I actually had forgotten to right-click on that, so now we can actually go back, add, and then we get Wing Comm Suite. So assigning officers that establishes a squadron that gains skill over time. Then fighter crew losses are reduced by 75%, and it is only applicable to with crewed fighters. Fighter engagement range decreased by 30%. So maybe instead of the close range, we go with another one of the long range, actually the M1s. That would be probably better, actually. I'm also very low in credits. How much do those Aurorian keys just sell for on market? I was gonna bring them to Auroria, but I don't have the quality of life gate established, so... Well, maybe we hold the selling of those keys just for a moment. Let me think on this. Yes, we definitely want the money, and I'm not a complete trader to Auroria yet. So let's max out the shield in the meantime for this. And we'll just call that okay. Now we could actually, what's that? The 13th Here unit has been established under the command of Emma Woods. If this officer is assigned to another unit with X-Men, they will follow. That's cool. I don't know how to view it though. Holding F1 for more information. Oh, hey. I like the soldier's line. I despise war. I've always believed that to take a life of another for whatever reason was wrong. Yet I became a pilot and took many lives. Did I do the right thing? Perhaps I should have stayed in that village, drinking my idle moments away until my death. Shut the f up, Shinji, and get in the mech. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But he was reminding me of a certain coward. Nah, calling Shinji a coward's not completely called for. It's also been ages since I've watched Evangelion, so I could be completely mischaracterizing him and just not even care. Alright, comms directory. And let us get another job before we go. Where is this one? Okay, maybe not that. No, just that one works. We'll go with this one. Or maybe not. Holy, that's okay, it looks like we will be speaking with you another time. I took exactly one look at the bounties that Dawn had given, and no, we will not be doing any of those. Going to make a quick trip to the Innova Drive Yards. Hopefully we have enough supplies. I did not actually think that through. 9 times 3. It'll be fine. We are not fine. You have got to be joking. Lindworm? An artillery battle wagon? We're running. I'm not normally a coward, but in this particular instance, get me out of here. And we're out of supplies because I flew too close to the sun. Peak. You know what? Since we're technically helping them, sure, let's join the battle. We're just rear-ending our ally. Oh my god, please stop doing that. Well, I think that went pretty well. Let's join the pursuit. Sure, why not? Let's get these guys some levels. Now, ship recovery. There wasn't really anything in that engagement I was looking at, but all of this fun new stuff. Ooh, they even had a gamma core. Nice. The only reason I really want to engage in this one is for the sole reason of I kind of want the longship, the battle wagon. It just has an interesting name to it. Don't you just love it when carriers act like carriers? Now I don't want the thing. Yeah, consider shipper recovery. Please and thank you. I mean, I kind of do still want it a little bit, but at the same time, not really worth it. Wasn't worth all that trouble. It really wasn't. Are they? You've got to be joking. All right, Aurora. I never planned to actually come back to. I'm sorry. But hey, this means I can sell a bunch of stuff. Ooh, planet cracker. Do you though? Do you actually crack planets? Yeah, it's a mining tool. That's what I thought. Obsolete. I kind of did want to do a little bit of mining. I'm not gonna lie. So, funny thing, I did actually plan to mine in the beginning a little bit, get some funds that way. But, best laid plans and all that fun jazz. I will buy a premium chocolava cake. And I guess, go back to the one person this usually goes to. Oh, and while we're at it, actually, would like to chop up a few hands, if you don't mind. So, deployment point reduction, really neat. We do not have the BRM for that. Annoyingly. Is there any I actually really want specifically? Okay, we're going to ignore that. And actually, ooh, you know what? Do you have, you don't have one for the heart. And you don't really need turret rate, do you? So we could remove this one. Remove confirm. Rate at which combat rate decreases, that doesn't really matter to you in a sense. And I do need 3, so we're gonna have to remove this one. Heart, and then we'll shove in this one to increase your ship's hull, which realistically, it helps a little bit. Any little bit helps to keep you alive, I guess. Calm, Nia. Spark a conversation. Offer a gift and cake. Now we have her as a contact now. Key cards I have. Select cards to turn in. Turn in blue first. All right, and with that, I guess we'll leave it here for the time. I have been doing shorter recording sessions, so it's only an hour recording that I try to chop down further. I will try to get back into the swing of things. I do want to get this series going. I've just been, yeah. There's no sense in dumping all of that. And that is unfair when the entire purpose of making these videos is to make something enjoyable, or at least something to pass the time. Heck, even if it's third monitor content. I accept it because that's still content you're watching. But until next time, do take care and fly safe. We will hopefully get more into the swing of things and get started on things.